Spaceflight is one of the most astonishing achievements in human history. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing. Most statistics say only between 500 and 600 people have ever been to space. But one of those people is North Dakota native Rick Hieb. On Friday, he told us about his journey from Indy to NASA, and this morning, he is sharing his experiences during his 3 space shuttle missions with us, including some space flight records he set along the way.
Personally, I think if you're not afraid during the launch of a rocket, you need to go get some more training. Because you should be afraid, because it's a very, very complex system.
Years of preparation and thousands of people helped get those shuttles off of the ground. After all that prep time, former astronaut and Jamestown native Rick Hieb says the engines only run for about 8 minutes during shuttle missions. Then the fun starts.
I have a physics degree, so I get it. I understand how orbital mechanics works and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, when the engine shut off and you're floating, it's like, wow, it's real.
Hieb experienced the realness of space 3 times on shuttle missions in 1991, 1992, and 1994.
Floating is just as good as you think it would be. I mean, it's so fun to just push off of a wall and just drift. Or if you have a tool in your hand, you're going to spin it and watch it spin. Or an ink pen, you'll spin it and watch it spin. And later in the mission, your crewmates, you can spin them, you know. Everything's a toy in space, right?
And of course, he had a unique vantage point from the Earth's orbit. But most astronauts aren't as far away as you might think. Space shuttles and space stations are only a couple hundred miles above the Earth's surface, or roughly the distance from Fargo to Bismarck. The Earth takes up almost half of the field of vision for astronauts in orbit.
You can look down and very clearly see, human occupation, cities, rivers.
But that's just the fun inside of the shuttle. Hieb spent 17 hours outside of the shuttle on spacewalks, including the only 3-person spacewalk ever during STS-49 in 1992. Him and 2 crewmates captured a crippled satellite to attach new rockets to it to get it to the proper orbit. That's Hieb on the left in an iconic photo from the mission. At the time, it was the longest spacewalk in history, over 8 hours. And when there's nothing separating you from the cosmos, Hieb says the views get even better.
Suddenly, instead of this hole you're looking through, you're kind of just there.
But as amazing as his stories sound, and as much as you might try to imagine being in his floating shoes, Hieb says one of the drawbacks of sharing his sky-high adventures is you just had to be there.
It was quite a profound sense of awe and also a profound disappointment. I couldn't think of how to articulate that to anybody other than, wow, this is great.
Now, the 25th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission in 1994 coincided with Hieb's 3rd and final space shuttle mission, so we got to celebrate that milestone from outer space, and now he's gone full circle, or full orbit, and he is commemorating 25 years since his last space flight.
I guess it makes sense that we don't have words to describe it because most human beings have never been there, so how would we ever have come up with words in the first place,
yeah,
right?
And I guess him just going, oh, this is great. I mean, I think in a way that kind of sums it up, but yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, I wish I could have been there, but, just not many people can.
You mentioned full circle for the orbit, and a fun fact, the orbits of planets are actually all elliptical, and what's really weird about Earth is that our ellipses are like 2 middle points in ellipses, math-wise. They're really, really close. They're both inside of the sun for our orbit, so it's almost circular, so it's really cool.
I feel like you should have talked to Rick Hieb instead of me, because I feel like you would have had a much greater understanding of some of the technical stuff he was talking about.
Maybe, but it might have got a little too inside baseball. It seemed like you had a good idea
Inside
on
space
it.
shuttle.
Yeah.
Yes.